everybody, welcome back. It's Khanya here and we are still celebrating Africa Day with Nelson Mandela University. Today we are making Umfino again, but it's taking another form today in the form of utshete, or as many of you might know it, steamed bread. So let's jump right in with the ingredients. We have cake wheat flour, about 1 kilogram worth, brown sugar, we have a little bit of extra flour for dusting, salt, vegetable oil, and most importantly, instant dry yeast. And then our Umfino of choice that we're using today is spinach. So we've got our cake wheat flour here, in which I'm gonna throw about 45 grams of sugar. Okay. About 30 grams of salt. Just want a really nice balance of sweet and savory in this bread. We're going to throw in about 50 milliliters of vegetable oil. Then we're going to add 10 grams of instant dry yeast. Then we're going to combine these dry ingredients together along with our oil, which we're really just gonna pinch in so that we can get it completely involved. And we can kind of get a mealy sort of a flour going on. There we go. This is a universal bread recipe. This way of doing it, this really nice savory way of doing it is like really one of my favorites. And just before we combine this and create a dough, we're going to add our hero ingredient, which is Umfino wethu. Today, it's gonna be spinach. So once we've got this going on, we've got our salt, we've got our sugar, we've got some vegetable oil in there, and most importantly, we've got our yeast. We are going to slice up some spinach. So you want to slice the spinach up a little bit more finely, just so that you don't have these enormous pieces in your bread. And you know how spinach shrinks when you cook it? This should make about half a cup's worth. So we're going to incorporate it into the dry mixture as well as we possibly can. Just like this. And then, now it's time to create a dough. So once our dough mixture is looking a little something like this, and we feel that we've evenly incorporated the greens, and when I say greens, I mean if you can find amaranth, great. If you can find kale, that's amazing. But I know that this is going to be a lot more universal and easier to get your hands onto. So, now we've got water whose temperature we really need to check. I think mine might be a bit hot. No, it's actually perfect. So just above lukewarm, we are going to start slowly pouring our water into the middle of this dry mixture. All right? And then using your hand as a mixing pot, we're going to start to incorporate that water ever so slightly. So just keep on making a well, pouring a bit of water in there, and then just slowly but surely creating that dough. And you'll find that it comes together quite quickly and easily because of the moisture content in the spinach. And our dough is coming together quite nicely and looks really pretty. Okay, so now that we have a dough, albeit sticky, we're going to flour our surface, which has been cleaned and sanitized. And we're going to knead our dough. Okay, so that's our beautiful speckled green dough. which we've got going on there. I'm gonna put that aside. And we're just gonna get kneading, you know, and we're just gonna get it really, really involved. And we're gonna incorporate gluten and elasticity into this dough in order for it to rise beautifully and create a soft dough with a beautiful clean crumb. So this being my mom's recipe, which she got from her mom, I've always watched them do it, and whenever they do it, they're very economical about the number of dishes that they use up, you know. And what my mother always does is the dish, the original dish from which we were mixing the dough, we just clean up and we just add a lick of oil, which we just spread over so as to kind of create a grease-proof sort of a shield so that the bread doesn't stick. So once you've kneaded this dough in a satisfactory way and you're happy and you feel like it's coming together, which I feel really good about, you can just place it in your lightly greased dish. A lot of people put their dough in the sun, but the heat from the water should allow for the yeast and the sugar to play together and, you know, build up a dough for you that's going to be light and fluffy. So once you feel like you've kneaded enough, I think 5 minutes should suffice. You just roll it up into a nice ball. Nice, neat little ball, and just tuck in all the untidy pieces underneath, like I'm doing right here. And once it looks like a little bun, you just neatly place it into that lightly greased dish and then cover it up. I'm going to cover it up with a tea towel. My mother never used to put hers in the sun, but let's break the rules today. I'm gonna go and put mine outside and we're going to see this baby rise. So after this dough has risen, and it's really, really nice and soft, we're just going to knock it down, and it's really just incorporated so much air, but we just wanna knock it down a bit and then reshape it again. And we're going to insert it into a bowl, just like this. All right. And in the meantime, whilst you're doing that, you want to have a pot big enough to accommodate that bowl, which we're going to turn on to a high heat. And we're going to have about 3 fingers worth of water in our bowl, because we don't want the water to come up the sides and get into our bread. So this is the point where we insert the bowl in, and then we close it, and as the water boils, it will steam the bread from the inside, and we just don't open that. We leave it for about 45 minutes to an hour. After 20 minutes, you're allowed to peek, but it's not recommended that you do. So we're going to allow that bread to steam, and then we're gonna have a check on it in the next 45 minutes. So we've taken our jeke out of the water, and it's finally ready to be cut and served. Alrighty. So let's slice that all the way down the middle. And there's just something different about steamed bread, you know. It doesn't have your usual brown crust or anything, but there's just something so sumptuous about it. Enjoying this with a beautiful stew is just the absolute best. Or just plain as it is, served nice and warm with a bit of butter. This is absolute heaven. Beautiful. Let me taste. Mm.